we are back. Can you do a Terminator?
I don't know what that is.
Well, okay. Well,
you'll have to do it.
I'll be back.
Got ya.
We are back. Anyways, terrible joke. So on Wednesday, we decided that we were going to go on a tour of the Bay of Islands, a boat tour. So we got up, we had some coffee and yogurt and granola and walked into town, and the weather was
beautiful.
Yeah, partly cloudy, sun, the first sun we'd seen since we'd been in New Zealand. And we got on this boat to go on this tour. The tour had originated out of Pahia, and so by the time it got to us, there weren't very much in the way of good seats. There was must have been a cruise full of Germans on board, and all the good seats seemed to be taken. So we ended up sitting inside when we didn't really want to.
Eventually we made it to the top of the boat, but
we stopped at one place.
Of the top, yeah.
We stopped at one place, and a bunch of people got off to spend time hiking and camping and doing things. So that opened up a few seats, and we rushed up to the top of the boat and managed to get some seats up there. And then we headed on out, and the whole idea was to get all the way out into the ocean to a place called Hole in the Rock. Now, when we had asked about it early in the day, they said, we're going to be lucky if we get the boat out at all, because the captain went out and reported that he was seeing swells of 4 to 6 meters out there. You know, that's like 20-foot waves. And
I think that he was seeing, he said yesterday they were 6 meters. Today they were 4.5 on the weather report, and he went out to see if they were that high.
Well, that would make more sense than what I said.
Yeah.
But what I said was more dramatic.
It was more dramatic.
Anyways, we headed out to sea, and it turns out that the sea had calmed down quite a bit. So we made it all the way out to Hole in the Rock and took a gajillion pictures. But we had a fun time getting out there because there was enough swells that the boat would, you know, it was almost like being on a small skiff, except this had hundreds of people on it, and people were. It was like a
Disney ride or something.
Like a Disney ride, yeah. The only problem was that the guy that was sitting next to Terry, this German fellow, decided he wanted to stand up and take pictures.
But he kept doing that, right?
Until he landed on top of her, and that hurt.
Yeah, he landed into my arm, and it did.
And so, anyways, eventually we made it back to Otaheite Bay, and we anchored for an hour and a half, and we got off the boat, and we climbed up this hill overlooking the whole island. It was super picturesque.
Yes, very lovely.
And then came back down and waded in the water on the beach, and it was very pleasant. It was just a little cold after Fiji, but warmer than Lake Michigan. So that sort of thing. And we got back on the boat and came back. We finagled even better seats for that part of the ride and came back to Russell, and then ate dinner here in town. We ate at a place called the Gables, and they had this wonderful, creative menu, and it was super. It's the best food I've had, I think, since Thanksgiving. You want to tell them?
Less more so for me. Your food, it just didn't appeal to me as much. I had a slider, which was fine.
Right. And I had these lamb ribs, which were, and they had this queso fresco on them. They were really tasty.
And pomegranate seeds.
Yeah. Oh, and we started it out with a ceviche. It was kind of this deconstructed ceviche, which was really nice, and had ground nuts and pickled, I don't know if it was pickled cabbage or pickled onions, and nice fish, and a, what was this sauce?
Tiger's milk, they called it.
Tiger's milk sauce. Yeah. So it was...
But it was had lime in it, obviously, too. So
Yeah, it was very different, but quite tasty. And then the dessert. We had this panna cotta dessert.
Kaffir lime panna cotta. And then there was some kind of fruit. I don't know. I didn't really recognize it, but it had a little bit of sourness to it. It was really good. And then crumbled pistachios.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
It was a great meal.
And I had chocolate mousse, which was extremely rich, very, very rich, and very good.
And then we came home and were exhausted and fell asleep. Another day, another $1, so to speak. So, ta-ta.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.